Hey guys, Game Prime here, and welcome to the first Distant Nebula episode. What is Distant Nebula? Well, I've been watching a lot of YouTubers like Nintendrew, MetalJesusRocks, The Completionist, gamers in that nature. I enjoy their content a lot, and they've been kind of inspiring me to kind of make videos like theirs. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be completely like theirs, it's going to be different, but it's going to be, in a style that a lot of people are familiar with, and I think a style that's really picking up on popularity. So, here's the first, I'm not calling it an episode, but the first video of it. This isn't going to be perfect. This is going to be a train wreck. But I'm doing it now because I've really been wanting to do it. I've tried a bunch of things. I've been working on this for a few days now. Not a long time, but it's something that I've been thinking of doing for a very long time. Anyway, let's get into today's topic. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. One of the best games ever made. One of the main selling points for the N64 once it launched for the system back in 1998. Now, as you see over here, I have a bunch of versions of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Though there's always been one version I never got. And that would be this. This is the gold edition of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So the only way you could get the gold cartridge back in 1998 was by pre-ordering the game. Now, I don't know how rare these are really, but it was easy enough for me to go to my local retro game store and pick up for a decent price. I wouldn't call it really good. Anyway, today's video is all about this version of Ocarina of Time, version 1.0. Now, there are a bunch of different versions of Ocarina of Time, which I will go into in just a little bit, but what we're going to do is we're going to play this version right here. I haven't touched it yet. It's hell, I don't even know if it works. Should spend $50 on it. Anyway, I'm going to put it in my 64. I'm going to turn it on. You guys are going to see me do that, and we're going to see what's on this cartridge. There might be 3 empty save files. I don't know, but we're going to do that right now, and then I'll go into the differences of all versions of Ocarina of Time. Alright. Here we go. Here we are. Let's see if there's anything on this game. Mike. If you're watching this video, hi Mike. And you have 1. That's a shame. Welp. That sucks. Well, I guess there's nothing much to do in this save file, but we'll see what he has. Zelda's Lullaby, Epona Song, Saria Song, Kokiri's Emerald, Bullet Bag, Goron's Bracelet, Lon Lon Milk, and the Keaton Mask. So, that was a little bit disappointing. But right now, I guess I'm going to show you guys the differences between the versions, since I think that's kind of what I had planned next. Okay, so I am on ZeldaSpeedruns.com, which is going to tell us a lot of the differences between the versions of the game. Now, the ones that I have are, of course, NTSC, which means American versions. Version 1.0 can be indicated by the numbers and letters on the back of the cartridges. So, if your cartridge only has 2 random numbers, then it will automatically be version 1.0. If your cartridge has 2 numbers and the letter A, it is version 1.1, and if your cartridge has 2 random numbers and the letter B, it is version 1.2. It also says here that NTSC gold cartridges are almost always 1.0, but 1.1s are known to exist. The rare not for resale label cartridges are always 1.0. The standard gray NTSC cartridge usually contains 1.1, but can often contain 1.0 or 1.2 as well. Up until this past week, I thought my gray cartridge was 1.0, but it turns out to be 1.2. The Player's Choice label cartridges are always 1.2. PAL versions 1.0 and 1.1 are roughly equivalent to NTSC version 1.2, and the Virtual Console releases contain an unedited version of the NTSC 1.2 ROM, or a slightly different PAL 1.1 ROM with mods applied via the game's WAD, whatever that means. The GameCube versions that were released on the Zelda Collector's Edition and the re-release of Ocarina of Time that came with Master Quest are their own specially compiled ROMs, and the Chinese iQube release is likely based off of these versions as well. So I'm going to pick up my gold Ocarina of Time here and see it only has 2 numbers, so as I said before, that means that it's version 1.0. So now I'm going to pick up my gold Ocarina of Time, turn it around, and if you could see it, it has 2 numbers and the letter B, which means this is version 1.2. So now we're getting into the good stuff, the exclusive content in the versions. The rotating Nintendo 64 logo upon boot up is very bright. I will show you what I mean here because I managed to capture both of them when I played both versions of the game for a little bit just now. And also on 1.0, you could skip through Zelda's text boxes before she gives you the light arrows. I would have captured that, but neither games were up to that point. The exclusive glitches in 1.0 are most of the ones that are used during the speedruns. I'm not really going to get into a bunch of them, but the Master Sword one is a big one I know, and it's never restored to the B button after a save warp, so Swordless Link is possible by save warping out of the Ganon fight. I kind of understand that. I do watch some speedruns, but not many. So, going on to NTSC 1.1. This is the first update to Ocarina of Time. Glitches were fixed alongside some on-screen text issues and a very minor graphical change. So you can no longer use items during put-away animations. Rotating N64 logo upon boot up has been darkened and looks glossier, which I just showed you a minute ago. The hover boots and rock jump methods of steel and the fishing rod are fixed. Things upon, that kind of more polish that Nintendo put on the game. So 1.2, which is also the Player's Choice version, and it's the one that most of us has played because that's the one they re-release plenty of times for, say, the Wii Virtual Console, Wii U Virtual Console, and it's the one that Ocarina of Time 3D is based on as well. This version of the game updates more texts as well as makes some notable graphical and sound changes to the game, censoring the blood as well as replacing a controversial song within one of its temples. It also fixes an item receiving glitch. So, first of all, the blood. Ganon's blood was red in the original 1.0 and 1.1. They changed this to green in the later version of the game, 1.2 and onward, and this was probably done to maintain an E for everyone rating instead of going to something like a rated T rating, which a game like Twilight Princess has received. Morpha's ball. Morpha, who is the boss of the Water Temple, her ball is rendered, its ball is rendered in an aqua blue and red color with a distinct pattern. On the GameCube and Virtual Console versions, Morpha's ball is white and red with a completely different pattern, and it looks better in my opinion, but it says on ZeldaSpeedruns.com that this is a graphical rendering difference, most likely due to an unsupported shader graphic, not an edit to the game. If you play any other version of the game on an emulator, so to say, it will be white and red, just like the Virtual Console and GameCube version. It's just hardware limitation, I guess, with the N64, and it continued to be white and red in the 3DS remake. Going on to the Fire Temple song, this one is where it gets kind of controversial. In NTSC versions 1.0 and 1.1, the Fire Temple song contains religious themes vocals from the Muslim faith. One line translated into English states, "I bear witness that there is no God but Allah."
I am Allah.
1.2 and onward, the song was replaced with what seems to be a remix of the Shadow Temple song. This contains no discriminable lyrics, only Gregorian-style moans and a ghostly female chorus can be heard. I personally like the regular Fire Temple theme, the first one with the chants. Not because of the chants, of course, but because it's such, it's scarier. It's a scarier song than what they redid to it. And finally on here, the symbol change. In all N64 versions of the game, a crescent moon and star symbol is present on the mirror shield, dungeon blocks, floor switches, and Gerudo signs in the game. In the GameCube version and onward, this symbol was replaced with a diamond-shaped Gerudo symbol that was used in Majora's Mask. The symbol was most likely swapped out because of its striking resemblance to the symbol of Islam. It is also noted, to me at least, that it makes sense for them to switch it out to the Gerudo symbol, because if they're going to use that symbol for the rest of the series, why was it just a moon and a star in Ocarina of Time? So yeah guys, that is pretty much it for the first Distant Nebula video that I'm doing on this channel. This was a ton of fun. I don't really know how this is going to turn out though, because this is entirely new to me. I had a fun time putting it together though. There were some things that were a little weird, but I'm glad to be back on YouTube. I'm of course going back to Let's Plays, but Distant Nebula is a thing that you guys will be seeing on the channel from now on, and it's going to be like a live action thing where I talk a little bit and then show a little bit of games. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot different from what I usually do on the channel, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you'll stick around for the next one. Alright guys, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.